Welcome to the Experience Better video podcast series. I'm Josh Beekler, and with me today is Justin Kral, frequent visitor of the podcast.
Sure.
Appreciate it. PT at the Balance Mobility Aquatics Center. So Justin here today to tell us about orthotics and what we should be putting into our shoes if and what we need.
Sure. So last time we talked, I talked about the importance of getting good shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if you get the best shoes on the market, some people's feet have just got pathology in them, meaning there's some ligaments that are too loose, there's some bones that have had some effect to them to where they need a little bit more support. I got trained a few years back through a podiatrist named Paul Coffin. He has a business out of Sioux Falls, but he developed some orthotics with a fellow from Lincoln called Ron Haruska, who I learned all the postural restoration therapy from. So they developed a set of orthotics that tend to work really well to help retrain the body. They're more of a neurological facilitation type orthotics. They're not the real rigid hard ones. The rigid hard ones do work. There's some benefits to those as well. You know, when I look at people, if they're having like the more chronic issues, again, where the hips and the knees and the back have got some issues with it too, the feet are a huge component to it. But if we miss a couple of things where we're just looking at the feet and not looking at knees and hips, that's where some of these orthotics do come in. These are actually one of my sister-in-law's old orthotics. So I made her some new ones. She ran in them for like 5 years. They weren't bad, but I said, I'll make you some new ones, but as long as I get to keep your old ones.
Sure.
So these orthotics are a little bit more pliable, meaning they move a little bit better. So there's a little bit of flexibility to them, but there's still enough rigidity through that mid-arch area through here to where it holds you a little bit more stable. These ones I like too. If you can see it a little bit, there's a cup to it. So when we talked about your shoes, how you wanted that back, your heel to really cup your foot in, these orthotics can kind of cup it in there a little bit better to where your foot doesn't slide around as much. So those people that have real bad bunions or hammer toes, a lot of times the forefoot is, meaning where your base of your toes touch, they're sliding around a little bit in your shoe. And an orthotic will help that, but if it's not helping as much as you want because there's not something catching that outside of the foot like this ridge here, these are they may help a little bit more because there's a catch to it. So it's kind of like a pitcher's throwing a fastball. If the catcher doesn't have a glove, it's just going to blow right through, and that can happen too with some orthotics. And with that too, again, back to the shoe topic I had before. If you're in a crummy pair of shoes with an expensive $300 pair of orthotics or so, your orthotic's not going to do as much for you because the shoe's going to give. It's going to make that orthotic not be as effective as you want it to be as well.
It's like putting a sweet engine in a terrible car kind of thing, right?
Yeah, or having like a Model A engine in a in a Ferrari.
Right.
So I mean, it'll go down the road, but it's not gonna. It'll look good, but it won't really function very well.
Right.
So.
Right. Very good. Very good. So those orthotics, depending on what you need, will they do different thicknesses, different materials? So you offer more support, more.
Yeah,
cushioning?
they do. They have. So these are 3/4 length. So I like these because they can go in and out of like dress shoes. They can go in and out of a lot of different shoes pretty effectively. With them, I usually take that insole, the one that comes with it out, because these are, I mean, it's kind of tough to tell on the video cast, but they're a little bit thicker. They're about a quarter, well, maybe not even a 1/4 inch thick, but it'll bring your foot up in your shoe. So if you take that inner liner out, it takes care of it.
Sure.
When you do the full size, they tend to fit only in that shoe.
Right.
This is a little bit more pliable one, so it's their regular style. So it does bend a little bit, and they do make some more rigid ones as well. They'll make like a leather base. There's like 4 or 5 different options for it. So, and it just depended on kind of what I think would be good, what the doctor thinks would be good, what the person I'm working with thinks would be good. We base it off of that.
Yeah, very good. Well, that's great. I mean, it's good to know that if you have orthotic needs, if you have foot issues, Justin's a great person to get you into the right set of the right set of shoes, and then second, if you need even a little more intervention with your shoe wear, get you into a good set of orthotics.
Sure. Yeah, and like I said, we do some other ones for our company as well.
Yep.
These would be just a little bit of a different option. So.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
You bet.